So, good afternoon, because it is afternoon now. So, I decided on my channel, sorry about the hair, it's cooking hair, cooking clothes, to do something a little bit different. So, we live on Gusto for main meals, because we like to cook everything fresh, and it does come with fresh ingredients. So, I'm going to be mostly showing you how easy it is to cook with Gusto every day when we have our meals. Plus sometimes when we don't in between, show you some of my cooking and my baking. But today I'm doing one of my dad's favourites, which isn't in Gusto. Let me turn this up a bit so let me look, seeing all my chins. That's better. Hey. So growing up, I grew up with a Jamaican dad and a Barbadian mother, but we ate mostly English ordinary food to us because I was born in England and so is my sister. But my dad used to do ackee and saltfish. My mum hated it, my sister hated it, so it's just the two of us. Ackee and saltfish, sorry, the noise in the background of my washing machine. So we used to, Dad did it the Jamaican way, but there's a lovely lady called Crystal from Elite Haircare USA, Haircare USA, I'll put a link below, that did it the other day on her Cook With Me on her channel, which you should go and watch because she's brilliant. She did saltfish fried dumpling, Jamaican and the Trinidadian way, so Jamaican and Trini way. So that's what I'm doing today. So I will put my camera down. There we go. So you might hear her in the background because I will be just checking her channel. So in here I have salt cod. I don't buy the salt fish. I find it really tough. I buy the salt cod, and nowadays you can actually buy salt cod in Tesco's. With salt cod, it's very strong smelling. I love it, but you have to soak it. It comes in the packet dried. Now some people like to soak it overnight or for a couple of nights in water in the fridge or whatever, but I do it a lot of the ways that Crystal did it. I did soak it for a few hours, but then I boil it and boil it, throw away the water, boil it, throw away the water, boil it, throw away the water. I did that 4 times and there it is. I flaked it. This salt cod has got bones, so I've gone through with a set of gloves. I've just seen one I've missed. The bones are huge, you don't want to miss any of them. I went through and took out as many bones as I could find. I'll do it again before I add it into the rest of the ingredients. That I will leave to one side, let it cool so it's easier for me to go through. First I'm going to start with the fried dumplings. So I need my bowl, which is here. I'm just going to move the ingredients for the ackee over to that side of the kitchen. We've done the kitchen up recently, so we've got new lights, new worktops, everything, so hey, I love. In my bowl, I will turn my camera so you can actually see what I'm doing. In my bowl, I'm going to add 2 cups of flour. Now, it depends how many dumplings you want. There are only 3 of us eating it, but my son and my husband like fried dumplings. So, I've got my cup. It's really funny, this cup was passed down to me from my mother. Now you can use self-raising flour, or you can use plain flour. If you're using plain flour, add a bit of baking powder to it. Now I am a person that likes to put everything away as I'm going, so you'll see a lot of cupboard doors opening and slamming. I'm making toffee cake with toffee sauce later. So okay, in this though, even though I am using self-raising, I will still put a 1/4 teaspoon of baking powder, just because some of self-raising flours I just seem to just have different raising agents in, and some don't work as well as others. And because it was hard to get flour this time of year, and I've always got flour, but I had run out, I had to get a different make than I normally get. In this you will need to add salt. So there is nothing worse than unsalted dumplings. So I will start off with, this is a teaspoon, so I would say a couple of teaspoons of salt, maybe extra little splash for good. What I will do, when I make the dough, you will notice that I will taste the dough for salt, because you can still need in a bit of salt afterwards. So because I want them as light and as airy as possible, for some reason my son has used all the bowls this morning, so airy as possible. Now I've got the salt and the baking powder and the flour there. I will sieve it, but flour's so good lately you don't get great big lumps or anything, so there you go. That's that. Now, butter. Oh, there is no measurement for this butter. It's just a case of how much you feel until you get that breadcrumby, kind of doughy, kind of, let me just put my butter back, kind of dumpling-y kind of mixture. And I don't use proper butter, I will just stick margarine there. It's just a cheap marge, makes no difference. So lighting's really bad, I must apologise. There you go. So it's a case of just mixing it up now till you get that kind of breadcrumb wanting to go into a dough kind of mixture. You might need a little bit more. Yeah, it's still too floury, so I'm going to knock my hands together, just get some more butter. The problem is, because I like putting things back as soon as I'm finished using them, I tend to put them away and then go, oh damn, I need some more, so I won't put the butter back yet. Let's just, yeah, that's better already. Mix that up. Now some people would like to use gloves. If I was cooking for anybody outside of the family, I would be wearing gloves. I'd have a hairnet on, because we used to have our bakery and we're pastry chefs. We've got, you know, the shoe covers, the hair covers, and all that. The actual apron I'm wearing, it's got my name embroidered at the top. I don't know if you'll see it, but when I was at school, I went to an all-girls school, we all had to have the same aprons. And in our home economics sewing and needle class, we had to learn to embroider our names on our aprons. So, and I still wear it to this day. I still use, just gonna wash my hands, I still use the same cookbook that I had at school. It is a vital part of our house for baking, sauces, the odd recipe, plus the kids use it. It says them going, Mum, how do we make this? How do we do that? Yeah, so tomorrow being Christmas Eve, I don't know when this video will go up, so it's probably well long after that. Tomorrow will be picky bit dinner, so we won't be cooking a meal as such tomorrow. What you need now is cold milk, and there is no rhyme, reason, measurement for this. It is strictly by eye until you get a nice soft dough that comes together. So I always start off, first of all, mixing the milk in with the spoon, getting it all together. Get it off the spoon. Okay. Then in with the hand. See how much it's coming together, because you can always have more milk, my cookery teacher said, but you can never take it away. And I don't really want to add any more flour, because this is going to make enough dumplings as it is. So, going by the measurement in my cup, that was a cup of milk, and I've used about half a cup of milk to 2 cups of flour. So, and I'd say probably 3 tablespoons of butter. And my dough has come together already, as you can see. You'll know because the bowl is clean. And I'll just give it a bit of a knead. That's all it is. It's flour, salt, and milk. Flour, salt, milk. Baking powder if you use plain flour. If you're using self-raising flour, you don't need to use baking powder, but I put a little bit in. Like I said, it's a different kind of flour. There you go, it's all off my hands. That bit of milk will go down the sink. Okay. Then it will be a bit of cling film over the top. The cling film never seems to be in the box in this house. I don't know how many times I put it back in the box. It's never in the box. See? Never in the box. So when you go to use it, they end up either ripping it, and then you end up going round and round for ages trying to find the end again, and then it just ends up ruining or something. So that's the dumplings I'll put to one side, and then give them time to rinse, to rise, to rinse. I'm on another planet today. Right, always keep a damp cloth just so I can wipe down. I've always got tissue nearby because I like to wipe everything and dry everything. Alright, I should put the butter back now. Spoon in the sink. Give my sieve a clean, and my sieve can hang back up. There's something in my shoe. I don't know what that was. My dog's asleep over there, one of them. The other one's in the living room, asleep with my daughter on the sofa. All is right with the world. This pot I got from Ikea. It was 50p. Great for putting my ends of veg and everything in. So next is for the Ackee. So Ackee is a Jamaican fruit. The easiest way to buy it is in a can. Jamaican Ackee. This is also available down the World Food aisle at Tesco's. Right, I just need to get some garlic. We actually, because we get so much garlic in the Gusto boxes, and no one wants to chuck away food. So when we get the garlic, and we find the right freezer door, we peel it, wash it, put it in a sandwich bag and freeze it. It freezes perfectly well. Then when I need, if I don't rip open the sandwich bag, when I need some garlic, I need 2 bits of cloves of garlic, just get it out, frozen, do up my sandwich bag, and put it back in the freezer. And it saves me chucking away a whole amount of garlic. So, doing this, there's no fancy chopping at all. I have these dishes that I got from Mills. So I am just going to chop my garlic. Now, you don't need it like crushed, but you do need it thin enough that it will just melt into the recipe. Now, this is going by what Crystal says. So Crystal says do that. The reason we started freezing our garlic was because of Crystal. We used to, if it gone soft, just chuck it in the bin. And, you know, no one could afford to keep doing that. So on one of her recipes that she was cooking, she said peel, wash, put in your freezer, and that's what we started to do. And I tell you what, it's so much easier to cut. Also, it's so much easier to grate as well. You've got a recipe that requires grated garlic, then that's the way to do it. And you know what, by the time you've had it in your hand for 2 seconds, it unfreezes. So that's my chopped garlic. Chop the garlic next to the spring onions, or as Crystal calls them, scallions in America. We call them spring onions. So I've just got 2 spring onions. If I put my screen down a bit, there you go. There we go, that's better. So I'll just chop them up small enough so they're bite size. No one wants to have great big chunks of it. All the fruit and veg has called, I don't know why I call tomato fruit. I think tomato is a fruit. But anyway, they've all been pre-washed. So just chop these up. So that's my spring onions and my garlic in there. Put that over there. Next is to do the red stuff. Tomatoes. Cut the ends off the tomatoes. If I move that way, you'll see a bit better. Now just chop the tomatoes up. You don't want them tiny, but you, like I said, everything roughly around the same size. Right, chop the rest of my tomatoes. The camera is, there you go. Oh, that's better. Right. So rest of the tomatoes. Carl's just sharpening the other knife for me because it was a bit blunt. I don't like mine. So funny enough, I know people say you can do more damage with a blunt knife, but I have a habit of cutting myself, so I don't keep them as sharp as he does. So just roughly chop the tomatoes. Oh, thank you. There you go. Got a sharper knife. Oh, that's better. So Crystal is braver than me. When she does hers, she cuts them in her hand. I'm too clumsy. I'm having MS. My hands can do whatever they feel like at any time. Sorry?
You want a coffee?
What? Oh, what, filter coffee?
Yeah, on the tea.
Oh.
Coffee.
What, in the coffee maker coffee?
Yeah, it's just,
Oh, a tea bag. Yeah, I'll have a tea bag. There you go. We went to Whittard's and we got some of their coffee in coffee bags. I haven't tried it yet, so I'm just about to. I stopped drinking coffee a few years ago, but I like filter coffee. We've got a new coffee maker. We've got the Ninja coffee maker, which I love, but it's so big. Sometimes we just want 1 cup. We use our little. What's the make of the coffee maker? We use our little coffee maker. We used to have the Gusto.
We've got Ninja, and now we've got this other one.
Yeah, what make is it?
I don't know, that's right.
Oh, okay, we've got that one. I think it's a DeLonghi or something like that. But we did have. We've got the Ninja. We had the Tassimos and all those ones, but I just didn't get on well with them. Didn't like them that much. So we've got a proper one. Alfie Days on his channel, and Zoe Zoella.
How many shoes?
Oh, I don't know. Hit me. They love their coffee, and Future Self, who I'm a huge fan of, and got lots of their clothing now. I even bought the socks the other day, and they are, well, I got the socks the other day. They are so nice. They are the softest, most comfiest socks I've ever owned. They're doing coffee in the new year, so I'm looking forward to Future Self coffee, because I dare say it's going to be amazing. Right, so just chop up your red pepper, or any colour you like. I like to use a red pepper. And then I'll get Carl to chop my onion, because he's better at it than me. Okay, so that's my red pepper chopped. I will put that in with my tomatoes. And normally we use a Scotch bonnet pepper, but Tesco's ran out yesterday, so I've got a hot chili, bird's eye chili, but don't chop it, put it in whole, so then you can see it taken out. My dad cannot have anything too hot anymore after he had esophagus cancer. So he seemed, after having chemo, the radiotherapy, I've left a lot of scar tissue, so he can't do anything as hot as a Jamaican would have, like he used to. He used to, when I was growing up, he used to have so much pepper sauce on his food. He used to have a napkin when he was eating because he used to sweat so much. Because he hasn't got any hair, it just used to just pour down his face. It was quite comical. So yeah, he can't have like he used to. He uses a lot of sweet chilli now instead of pepper sauce. When Crystal did her recipe, she did salt fish, but she didn't do the ackee. I'm doing ackee. So put your vegetable oil in, put your pan on. That's alright, I've got mine off the spice. That onion made me cry. You could tell when it's sort of out of season because, whoo, it'll make you cry. It'll make you cry. Right, I'm going to put my onion in with my garlic and my spring onion. I've got my coffee. Oh, that's nice. Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's quite nice.
That's filtered coffee, isn't it?
It is. Right. I'm going to put my shoes back on because milk. Oh, what's the milk? Did you open the milk?
I swapped it, yeah.
Yeah, no, I had milk over where I was.
Oh, did you?
Yeah. That's okay. As I say to people who know me, I'm going through menopause, have been for over 10 years now. I get very hot. Even when it's cold, I get hot. So I get hot, I take my shoes off, cool my feet down, it tends to help. And sorry if I sound a bit snuffly, I've got this cold I can't not get rid of. But I'm just going to go to the sink and drain my ackee. There's a lot of water in it. While I'm waiting for my oil to heat up, because you need your oil hot, you don't want to put anything in cold oil. I'm just going to check my saltfish against bones. Now it's cooler, because I don't want to be choking anybody. There's nothing worse than a fish bone in your throat. Oh my god, that thing can hurt for months, even if it's gone. You can still feel it in the back of your throat. So I've just found another one. The thing is with saltfish, the bones are big, so you can't. You can feel them, but when you want to eat the food, you want to eat the food and just munch it down. You don't want to be having to take little baby bites because you don't want to find a bone. So I'm just going to squash it between clean hands, family or no family, clean hands. Just make sure there's no more bones in that. I cannot see or feel any. My hands are washed. I'll dry my hands. Right, so hands dry. While I'm waiting for that to heat up, I'll put my stuff away. Because I don't like to have anything out. I should put the camera up. You'll see me, I'm just over at the sink. It's in my arm. While I'm waiting, I'll just wash up my pots. I'm soaking my salt, boiling my saltfish. Normally I'd use a Dutch pot. just as good as a Dutch pot is a pressure cooker, but just not under pressure because you get the saucepan. Sharp knife. I will get my very able helper to do the drying up for me, because when we cook together, and the only reason, 2 reasons why he's not helping me cook this all the way through today is, one, he doesn't like having saltfish. 2, he's gone to the supermarket, and with it being the day before Christmas Eve, this quick trip we went to Tesco's yesterday, and we went to Waitrose the week before and did a load of shopping, but yesterday we got the bits like the veg that's the perishable stuff, and we had to go and get some more dog food. But he likes saltfish if I do fish cakes with them, Jamaican fish cakes, or Barbadian fish cakes, depending on which way I cook them. But he's not a fan of saltfish, so I wouldn't expect him to be rubbing his fingers through it and all the rest of it. See if it's hot, drop in a bit of your spring onion. There we go. So, there we go. We have got a dishwasher, it's just certain stuff, sometimes it's just easier to wash up, isn't it, Cub? So, I don't want to burn my garlic, and I don't want to burn the spring onions. And this is the old wok that I'm using, which is a heavy pan. I won't use our regular everyday wok because saltfish tends to taste for a while, and I don't want to be cooking something like Chinese or one of our Japanese meals and it tasting of saltfish. Just soften your onions, your spring onions, your sliced garlic up. We put season oil on everything, all purpose seasoning. I need a new tub. Get this from, you don't want to get the one from the average supermarket, you want to try and find a Caribbean shop, African shop, because it tastes completely different. I'll put it back again. Also, we have salt, pepper, paprika, yeah, a bit of paprika, but I'm waiting for Crystal Elite Hair Care body care products to get her Moon Spice, which is developed by Mooney, which is her dad, Howard Williams, for it to actually be able to come to the UK. As soon as that's at the UK, I can't open it. Put the lid on and now I can't open it. That bit comes off, the round bit. Yeah. I did open it yesterday, and I've turned the heat down a little bit because they're softening really quickly. Then add in your reds and your chilli or chronic pepper. To get one, like I said, I couldn't get one. Then add your aromatics. Now, metal spoons. Put that down. Add your aromatics. So I'm using the Old Bay seasoning. You can get this off Amazon until I can get my Moon Spice. It's literally got everything in it that West Indians love. Thank you. Right, need to add a little bit more oil because ackee and saltfish is better if it's oil. We use that's vegetable oil. We use vegetable sunflower oil most of the time. Ooh, that smells good. A little bit of salt because the spice already has salt in it. Now, the weird thing that I will add to this, there's a great sauce. Now we get it from Waitrose, and we were introduced it when we started using Gusto. Is Gojuan's paste. It's typically a Thai paste, isn't it? But it has such a great flavour, but not a spice that hits the back of your throat, is it? I wouldn't say it was the back of your throat, would you? No. It's a bit milder than I'd say a chipotle without the heat, but it's tasty. I'll add a bit of that in, just because it also helps thicken, soak up everything. See, it looks like everything's suddenly, and because that chilli that will still let out the flavour has been washed, or if it was a Scotch bonnet, it will let out the flavour, but I can find it to take it out. Like Ackee is a fruit, grows on the tree, bright yellow. I'll get it in focus. That's what it looks like. The lighting's really bad, so I apologise. There you go. It looks like that. My sister used to call it khaki. Other people say it looks like sick, but it tastes amazing. But it is a fruit. Fish and fruit. Tissues. Thin film. Okay. Yeah. I will take out the pepper now. Chilli now. Like I said, because I'm a dad, I don't want to kill him off dry. I didn't think that dish was really well last night. It doesn't cut it. It's actually cool. Yeah, I know. It came down this morning to find out the cutlery. Right, so I'm just going to taste how soft it is. Perfect. You could turn the heat down really low, because this is an electric cooker, it takes a little while to cool down. Empty out my Ackee. Stir that through. It doesn't need cooking as such. And I've got my saltfish is already cooked because it's been boiled. Add my saltfish. I would put the extractor fan on normally, but you won't hear me if I do. That will have to go in the dishwasher because it's the only way. I'll rinse it off and then put it in the dishwasher, get rid of the smell of the fish in it. So I'll put it over, you can see what it looks like. The lighting's really bad. I'll just pick my tripod up, there you go. So if I get the camera right, that's what it looks like. Measuring spoons. I have two different sets of measuring spoons. So that's baking, that's meals. I don't mix them up. Right, so I'll just let that heat. So I'll put the ring on that's at the back on number 2. Keep it warm. Put the lid on. That'll just keep it warm. And I'll get my frying pan that's got oil in it. I'll tip some of this oil out. Never chuck your oil down the sink. So we have a jam jar. Carl's a plumber, he'll tell you fat down drains. It's not happy. Right, now it's time for the dumplings. So you can see it's risen a bit. So oops, nice and spongy. Just gonna put my salt, pepper and my bits away. I like to keep everywhere clean and clear where I know I am. Carl's done the dry it up, put it all away. So here's our dough. Here's the dough. Right, so my mum used to do them like that. My dad, typically if we're having soup, Jamaican soup, does them like that. Calls them titty dumplings for the obvious reason. Fried dumplings, Trini style, in your hand, flatten. I'm taking this as is. Also how Crystal did them on her Cook With Me. Pinch around the edges so the edges aren't too thick. They typically look like that. So while you're waiting, you need an oven pan. Or just the grill bit. Just the grill bit. With some baking paper. You can use kitchen towel, but kitchen towel keeps the oil in one place, doesn't it? Tray. Oh, these white pans have got to come with this Christmas for dinner. So go. Over this side. Ready. Turn my oil up. On my dumpling. My gran used to make these, but she called them bakes, didn't she? Yeah. Remember bakes? But I think bakes are a little more solid, not so much rise in them. You tend to just put them around the bowl. Make that one a bit smaller. So yeah, I tend to make them the same as Crystal makes them. When I make them in soup, they are different. Try and make them the same size and thickness because they're easier to keep an eye on. Now, one thing I don't do is I don't make peas and rice. Boiled rice, egg fried rice, sushi rice, but not basmati rice. Did you say basmati or go dirty?
Eh?
Did you say basmati or go dirty?
No, it's just mine dirty.
Oh, Bertie's my Bichon. Eric's the border collie. But peas and rice. And my dad likes.
Are you done with me for a bit?
Yeah, he likes his ackee with peas and rice. So we have Tilda, Caribbean peas and rice, which actually, well, rice and peas tastes no different at all. No different. Just put a little bit of extra spice in it. It's no different. So I will just make these dumplings. Dumplings. There's lots of pauses in this video, you'll notice, where I've had to put it on pause. It's because of my back condition and my MS. I do have to sit down quite a bit. I do have a perching stool, so I have my perching stool just off camera. I take myself off for a minute to go and have a sit down. Otherwise my legs and my back go. I can't stand for long periods of time. The beauty of Tesco's is that they're mobility scooters. They're just there to use, so I can grab them when I can go in, hence why we could spend 2 hours in Tesco's yesterday, because I can use the scooter. I have got a scooter, but at the moment with Carl and his medical condition, he's having trouble lifting it in and out of the car. So I've kept a little bit of dough, tiny little bit, to chuck in there to test if when my oil is hot enough, which is now bubbling. I don't want it where I chuck them in and straight away it scorches them. It needs to cook the insides at the same time. So you want it hot, but you don't want to put it in and or straight away it goes brown and burns. The size of this pot, I can get quite a few in. Remembering, the more you put in, it will cool the oil down. But I actually managed to get them all in. There you go. And catch my finger on it just as I put the last one in. Wash up my bowl straight away. I don't want to be finishing quickly and then spend the next hour in the kitchen cleaning it. I want to have it when I'm finished, I'm finished, you know. Just put these in the bin. Scissors in the drawer. Scissors in the drawer. Sharp knife back. Tumble dry, you can hear in the background now because the washing machine's finished, tumble dryer's on. Plate out for my dad. Check my saltfish. Good. That's good, Bertie. Turn the heat off now on the ackee and saltfish because that is hot enough. Find my dumplings. And they're busy frying away there. So just going to check them now. They should be nice and golden brown underneath. Time to flip them. Do the underside. Careful when, as you know, common sense for oil and all the rest of it. You can hear that when you tap them that they're quite hollow, which is nice, which means the insides are fluffing up nicely. You'll see I'll just took out the middle one just to check. Make sure that it's all light, bounces back in the middle, it's not doughy.
You know something, Hen? I think it's... Oh, you're filming.
So they are done. Take them off, put them on there to drain. Could have done with a little less salt, but that's fried dumplings done. Ackee done. Just dish up I have dancing accompaniment behind me. You're quite lucky you can't see. The dish up there. Ackee. Onto my dad's plate. Ready for his rice to go round his house. Yeah, that's his Ackee saltfish, fried dumplings. So thank you very much for joining me. We will be back with a someone dancing. You're lucky I don't turn the camera around, you know. Yes, so lucky I don't turn the camera around. We're back with a Gusto menu. So our Gusto box arrives on the 28th or 29th. So I will unbox that with you guys and then film it. Have a good Christmas. This won't be up until after then anyway, but have a good Christmas. Happy New Year. Stay safe and well. Bye.